Hello, this is Sean from Atlanta Braves Chop Live, and we have a special guest, John Sutter. He's the Vice President of Operations for the Field of Dreams location there, and it's a pleasure having him. We did interview that location 3 years ago, but looking forward to getting some updated information as they progress, and there's a lot of activities they have there. So, John, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for giving me a call.
Great, great. So I'm 50 years old. So when that movie came out, I was a teenager, and it's a very interesting baseball movie. It's not all about baseball. There's a lot of stuff that goes into the characters. And we did interview Dyer Brown, and he was pretty emotional when we interviewed him because his father had just passed away when he went to go film that movie.
Yeah.
And he told us he was one of 300 characters who applied for that position. And then when you think about it, he gets that position and he's playing the part of a dead father coming to play catch with his son. So he's
hmm
pretty emotional. So you wanted to describe a little bit about how everything got started as far as a little bit about you, about your experience with the movie, first time watching it, what have you, what it means to you, and also a little bit about yourself and going into the how the movie site got picked.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I can introduce myself first. My name is John Sutter. I'm the Vice President of Operations at Field of Dreams. I work for an organization called Travel Dubuque, which is the largest metro area nearby. And we're the Travel and Convention and Visitor Bureau for the area. And the owners of the Field of Dreams have contracted us to manage the operations of the Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams is just about 20 minutes away from where I live near Dubuque. Um, I was in Dubuque. I grew up in Dubuque when the movie was being filmed in 1988. And I actually had the opportunity. Our high school drama teacher was in charge of casting the local extras for the film. And I asked her, I said, please, Miss Rydell, can I be a baseball player in this movie? And she said, John, you're not even a baseball player here at Hempstead High School. And you're too young and you're too skinny. Well, now I'm 53 and I'm not that skinny, and I help run the whole place. So I finally made it into the movie. And I did see the movie for the first time in the theater in Dubuque. Actually, the world premiere of Field of Dreams was held in Dubuque. I didn't get to go that night, but I went the next night. So I came into Dubuque to see it in the movie theaters the second night it was out. And it was really cool being local and recognizing all of the places and all the filming locations they used. Um, None of the film was shot on a studio set. It was all shot on location, including in the house where I am now at the movie site, as well as the surrounding community. And the only scene that wasn't filmed locally was the scene inside Fenway Park. Everything else was local. So downtown Boston, actually downtown Dubuque, stood in for that. So you can still drive down that street and recognize the buildings where Ray was looking for Terrence Mann's apartment. You know, the first window without a chicken in it is his. The part where they go back in time to see Moonlight Graham in Chisholm, Minnesota, that's actually Galena, Illinois, which is just 20 minutes over the Mississippi River from Dubuque. The school meeting about the banning books was taken in one of the gymnasiums of our local school. So you can really drive around here and see every single scene that was made and made it into the movie. So it's really neat to be surrounded by that and to be a huge fan of the movie is really cool.
So I'm curious what a typical day would look like for you in this role because it's a very unique and a dreamlike job. So what would a typical schedule look like for you?
It's very fun. Right now, we are owned by a nonprofit organization called Dyersville Events. So Dyersville Events bought the Field of Dreams from the group headed up by Rick Heidner and Frank Thomas a little more than a year ago. So my days vary depending on what time of year it is. This is my third full summer with the Field of Dreams. We host youth tournaments throughout the summer. In 2023, we had 230 teams, and we hosted over 650 teams this year. So that has really grown. We use a lot of the diamonds, the ball diamonds in Dyersville, Iowa, which is where the Field of Dreams is. If you can believe it or not, Dyersville is very baseball crazy.
Mhm.
It's a town of 4,500 people, and there are 10 baseball diamonds in town that we use. And then on Friday night and Saturday night, the kids get to do a special skills competition on the movie site field. So actually on the Field of Dreams, they do a relay throw contest, they do a base running contest, and they have a home run derby. And then if your team makes it into the championship game is actually played on the movie site. at the
That is
Field
so
of
cool.
Dreams. Yeah, so even if you don't make the championship, all the kids get an opportunity to play on the Field of Dreams. And we make it into a party atmosphere for them. We play music and we announce their names, and the concession stands are open. We turn on the lights when it gets dark. So it's a fun event.
Yeah.
So a lot of my days are spent working with our team of fine young professionals that help run our tournaments. We employ over 100 umpires throughout the year. I'm also involved in the overall management of the site. So a lot of the invoicing and billing and sales and revenue tracking and fundraising for the nonprofit organization. We're also in the middle of some major construction projects at the Field of Dreams. So we have the movie site as it is. We're also building a permanent ballpark on the site where in 2021 the White Sox played the Yankees, and in 2022 the Reds played the Cubs. So we're building a permanent ballpark around that site so that we can host professional baseball and other events in the future. So a lot of fundraising being done for that, a lot of sponsorship that I'm responsible for getting, working with teams of professionals to make sure that happens.
That's awesome. It does sound like a dream job.
It's a lot
Yeah,
of fun.
a big thing about the Field of Dreams itself is that like drawback to childhood. I grew up surrounded by sports in Atlanta, especially with baseball. My brother, he actually played Little League in Atlanta, and the field here was called the Field of Dreams. So I kind of watched the movie when I was younger. So I'm just curious, how do y'all keep promoting that specific location to a new generation to make that so much special for generations to come and keep it a landmark for people to want to come visit?
Yeah, sure. We're actually seeing our third generation of fans at the Field of Dreams. You know, if the movie came out in the spring of 1989, and if you were a teenager then, or a baby boomer then, now
Mhm.
you've got your kids are in their 50s and their kids are playing Little League baseball and Little League softball. So they're coming to the field. So we're really on our third generation of fans of the movie and of the movie site. We don't do a lot of paid marketing, actually. We do a lot is just through word of mouth, and people know about the Field of Dreams. We rely on our website a lot. We do some paid social media ads, but nothing really significant. We spend money to attract tournament teams, but our regular visitor, day-to-day visitors are people who are in the area and want to come by.
Mhm.
We do 4 ghost player games a year. So the ghost players, which I'm one of the ghost players, we put on the old White Sox uniforms 4 times a year. We come out of the corn and we pick kids out of the crowd and we play like a little Harlem Globetrotter style baseball game with them. In 35 years, we've never gotten anyone out. Um, so we do the hidden ball trick with them. We steal the base away from them. We do the ball on the string gag, and we get about 3,000 people to come to those events 4 times a year, free admission, and it's just a fun time with the kids and a way to get people to come back to the Field of Dreams. And in fact, at the beginning of the show, our MC or our manager will ask the crowd how many people are here for the first time, and it's
Mhm.
usually 50% that say they're here for the first time. And we always say, well, it's 36 years since the movie came out. Where have you been? Uh, but it is really special that we continue to see new people come. Obviously, the Major League Baseball games that we had in 21 and 22 have regenerated a lot of interest. That in fact, that 2021 game between the White Sox and the Yankees was the most watched regular season baseball game in Fox Sports history. 5.9 million viewers for that game. So 5.9 million people being exposed to what we have here in Dyersville is really unique.
That's
This
insane.
summer on Labor Day weekend, we hosted a Tim McGraw concert. And we had
Mhm.
20,000 people at that concert. So, if you build it, he will come, and they definitely do.
So you talked a lot about like the kids on the field, like y'all stealing the bases, coming out of the corn and making that like a special experience for them. I'm sure they'll never forget it. Are there any like moments that come to mind where you've experienced something personally on the field or kind of watched someone else experience something that kind of stuck with you?
Yeah, it's every time that I see a dad playing catch with their son or their daughter on the field, that's a special moment because I know how much it must mean to that parent to
Hmm.
be a fan of the field, a fan of the game, and a fan of the movie, to have that opportunity to play catch right on the movie field. And it really has this magical feeling when you come here, you see the corn and you see the White House up on the hill. People have like a reverence for this place. We have zero vandalism and theft. I mean, people are really treat this as a special,
Which is
place.
very rare nowadays. So,
Yeah, yeah, very rare. We don't have any problems with that. We don't charge admission. It's free will donation to come visit the Field of Dreams, and people come here year round. In Iowa, we got to deal with winter, right? Um, and snow, and people come out here when it's snowing and run around the bases in the snow because they happen to be in the area and they're not going to miss their chance to see the Field of Dreams. We also have to explain to people when they come here in April why there isn't any corn yet.
go
We have to explain the crop cycle. We plant the corn in May and we harvest it
get
in
some learning
October.
too.
Yeah, so it's an educational opportunity. It's a teaching moment that we get
Yeah.
to do.
So,
And also, when I give tours of the house, you can tour the movie house where I'm sitting now, actually in the movie house. There's a scene in the movie where Karen, the little girl, is interrupting her parents while they're figuring out their finances because they could lose the farm, right? They get to that moment where we could almost break even, and that's not good, right? And little Karen is interrupting them, Daddy. And he says, In a minute, Karen. He says, Daddy, there's a man out there on your lawn. And he walks over to the window and sees Shoeless Joe Jackson standing in left field of this baseball field he made. And that's a goosebump moment for
mhm.
everybody. If they've seen the film, that's the goosebump moment in the movie. And when I describe that scene in the tour and people actually walk from the kitchen over to the window that's behind me and look out on the field, they get all covered in goosebumps too. There are some tears sometimes, but it's
uh,
really a powerful, powerful thing and a powerful story to share.
yeah. And the Field of Dreams, I think it was 2017, it was added to the US like National Film Registry for its
Mhm.
historical significance and everything. So, just for fun, do you have a favorite line or your favorite scene? Is it that one you just described, or is there one that you would say?
Yeah, that one I like, but I always go back to the James Earl Jones speech where people will come, Ray. They will most definitely come. I love that speech. I've memorized most of it, and I have it on the wall in my office. So it reminds me of why we're doing this and why we're working
Motivational.
hard to, yeah, preserve this and make it available to as many people as possible.
Yeah. So that if you build it, they will come, like line. What do you think visitors take away from when they actually come to the field? Like, what do you think they take away when they're kind of exiting this experience and going back to the
Um,
real
I,
world?
I think it's more about what they bring with them. They bring these expectations of this magical place, and they look out into the corn and expect to see a loved one come out of the corn, or they expect to have a nice, serene time and game of catch with their family, and they do. And throughout the year, we will find people have left letters to deceased parents or relatives or special friends in the corn. They will write a message on a baseball and throw it into the cornfield. So everyone who comes here has got a different perspective on what it's going to mean to them. But I think what they leave with here is really the essence of the film, that this is a magical place and things happen here. And the movie is surrounds baseball, but it's really about redemption and forgiveness, and that family feeling of, it's never too late to make up with somebody. So I think, at least it's my hope that they leave with that, and that's what I see people experiencing when they're here.
Yeah. And then you mentioned the stadium being built for MLB. Are there any upcoming projects and developments that you're especially excited about happening right now?
Yeah, sure. If I can share my screen, I'll show you the
Yeah, please.
yeah, I'll show you what we're working on here. I've got a drawing here. Yeah,
I didn't know
this
you were
one.
in the house also. That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm in the movie house here. So there we can you see this?
I think. Yes, there you go.
Okay, so let me see if I can close this window, make it a little bigger. There we go. So the movie site itself is right here in the bottom right.
Mhm.
So where I have my cursor, there's the house. Here's the movie site field. And the movie site field has not changed. It's in the same spot that it was during the movie. The first base side of bleachers is original from the movie. We did move the line of the corn back because it was actually a very small field for the filming of the movie. So we've moved it back so it's a regulation baseball field now, and we can have games. We actually hosted a college baseball game this summer here at
So
the
fun.
field. Obviously, the cornfield's the star of the show. It's the most interacted with and photographed cornfield in the world. So we want to keep as much corn as possible. And then this is the site of those Major League Baseball games were held here. So the movie or the MLB site, the field has remained, the lights, the foul poles, and the fences. And we're building a permanent ballpark around it. So
Got
that's what
it.
we're doing now. That will be open in May of 2026. 3,500 seat stadium, expandable to 8,000 seats, which is what we need for a Major League Baseball game. And then up here over the hill, we have 297 acres here at the Field of Dreams. So on the other side of the cornfield over the hill where you can't see it from the movie site because we want to keep the movie site as natural as possible with not a lot of commercialization around it. We're building a tournament facility back here with our partners from Musco Lighting. Musco probably does the lights in Atlanta, a lot of baseball fields, a lot of football fields. They're actually an Iowa-based company, so they're helping us build this tournament facility where we can host more baseball tournaments. Um, and we're doing some educational programming too at the Field of Dreams through financial literacy program. You know, you can't play baseball without counting everything. You know, we count how many
Yes,
times
yes.
you batted, how many times you got a hit, how many pitches you threw. Numbers are a big deal in baseball. So we're going to use the opportunity when we have kids here to help teach some of those lessons. We're also working on a curriculum where playing catch as a true form of communication. You don't need to even know somebody to have a game of catch with them. You don't
Mhm.
need to speak the same language, but you do need to connect with that person. You
Right.
can't look at your phone and play catch at the same time. You're going to get the baseball in the forehead. So we're using that lesson too to teach people about communication and connecting with people. So a lot of opportunities beyond just baseball and softball being played here, but other educational opportunities that we're hoping to share with the kids that come to the Field of Dreams.
That's gonna be so awesome. I hope to take a trip up there. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
Sean, if you want to go ahead and jump on in, feel free.
yeah, you've got my email address. Let me know when you want to come up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
Yeah,
sounds great. They I know that one of the scenes toward the end of that movie is when Dyer Brown is talking to whatever Dyer Brown, the one that we interviewed, and he's the plays the father,
yeah,
Kevin Costner, and he turns and when the begin there's a portion there when he says, "Oh, that's my dad," right?
yeah, yep,
And he doesn't introduce him as his father.
yeah,
And she says, introduce him to your his granddaughter, right? And they
mhm,
just go by first name. Hey,
yeah,
and my name is Ray. And then toward the end of the movie, they say he says, "Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch?" And he
right,
turns around and says, "I like that." So when we interviewed Dyer Brown was interesting. He mentioned that line, "Hey, Dad," was never even in the movie. Um, that what happened is when they did a screen, where they ran it by fans to see it before they put it out, people thought that was kind of cruel that Ray didn't say, "Hey, something about this is your dad," right? And so
mhm,
they dubbed that into the movie. So I thought it was pretty interesting. That wasn't actually in the original, but that's
yeah.
one of the touching scenes in there. Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch? And so that's pretty interesting that portion. He mentioned he has a museum there, but do y'all have anything around there as well? I know that I think he mentioned something that y'all were doing something in reference to close to his museum that he has.
Yeah, we have an If You Build It exhibit, which has a lot of the props and artifacts from the filming of the movie. And it's kind of the story of the making of the Field of Dreams and the story of the Ghost Players and how the Ghost Players got started at the Field of Dreams as well. So, yeah, it's right next door in Dyersville.
So what are some of the plans if somebody plans on coming out, what are some of the good things they need to know before they come out?
What they need to do if they're coming out to the Field of Dreams is book in advance a tour of the house because those do sell out, especially in the summer. So you can book a tour of the house. If you're interested in staying in the house, we let people stay overnight in the house as an Airbnb. So you can do that. You can also rent the field privately and have your own private game of baseball on the field under the lights and get hotel reservations because Dyersville isn't that big of a place. So if you're not going to stay at the movie site, make sure you get hotel reservations in Dyersville or in Dubuque, which is about 20 minutes away.
Have you had I know Dyer Brown comes out, but have you had any other I know James Earl Jones just recently passed away. Have you had
Mhm.
any actors from the movie come out recently?
I met Kevin Costner. I've met Kevin Costner 3 times now, and he was here last in 2021 for the MLB game. And the Ghost players, we got to pretend to be the Yankees and the White Sox that morning, coming out of the corn with Kevin, so that Fox and Major League Baseball knew where to put their cameras and stuff. So we got to hang out in the cornfield with Kevin, and he kept it. It's funny. You'll have to go back and watch his introduction in the 2021 game because he was on the field and he gave a little welcome speech. So he was practicing that, and he kept forgetting what he was going to say. He kept saying something different every time. And he said, I wish I had a cue card. Well, somebody threw him a baseball and he wrote some notes on the baseball. And we have that baseball. We're going to put it on display when our ballpark is complete. But if you watch that, if you go on YouTube and just search Kevin Costner introduction at Field of Dreams game, he's holding the baseball and you can see him glance down at the baseball every once in a while. And that's what he's doing. He's referring to his notes.
That's funny. Hey, what are some of the ways that I know that people can find you online, but what are some of the ways people can find you as far as social media? Because a lot of times before people come out, they want to find out some more
Check it out.
information. So where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Our movie or our website is fieldofdreamsmoviesite.com. Or if you just Google Field of Dreams movie site, you'll be able to find us.
That's great. Well, John and Katie, we're both glad to have you, and we look forward to coming out to visit that field sometime soon and
Sure.
fulfilling
Like,
some dreams there. So you get a
Oh,
little
look
tour
at
of
the
the house.
house. Looks
we're going to tour
awesome.
the house quick. I can't let you leave without looking out.
Please. Oh my goodness.
Dreams.
Oh yes,
Wow.
nice.
And that's your job. That is awesome.
It's pretty fun. Here's the staircase where they talk about the game at Fenway Park.
Wow.
And then the kitchen is recognizable, because all the famous um, I'm hearing voices thing takes place in the kitchen.
Wow.
So
And
yeah,
it's
it's
all
a lot of fun. It's fun to see people come here and enjoy, and when they get into the house too, to see everything that they recognize, pretty neat.
Well, that's awesome, John. Thank you so very much, and we look forward to trying to get some fans to come out and visit there. And we interviewed a baseball player that's not far from there in the Braves organization, and he grew up around cornfields. He said, "Yeah, I need to make it out there sometime." So,
maybe
It's
so.
always the ones that live close that never come back.
yeah,
They
so
they can always come here, right?
right. So we look forward to drawing some fans out there. So we want to thank you on behalf of Atlanta Braves Chop Live, joining us and sharing this special information with us.
Yeah, thank you
Great,
so
thank
much for your
you.
time.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.